and welcome from Los Angeles to New York and Florida and even to our friends across the pond. I wanted to welcome you to the VOMastery webinar. This is week 4, I believe, and we will be going with a webinar every Friday with special guests talking about voiceover mastery. And a lot of folks have been joining us over the weeks, and I am so excited that you are interested in voiceover mastery, that you are intrigued by what we're doing, and hopefully you are making your plans to join us here in Los Angeles. We always want to know what's on your mind, what information are we not feeding out to you so that you're sure that this might be the right conference for you. There are a lot of conferences and a lot of places you can spend your hard-earned money in developing your voiceover career, but we're hoping that you will find value in what voiceover mastery is doing. I just spent Monday night on the air with George Whittam and Dan Leonard, and they have an amazing podcast. They have a whole set and a whole way that they're doing everything. They're very sophisticated, and these are the guys that we all turn to for our audio questions. And of course, you, Beau, are not only an audio expert, you're a voiceover artist, you're a singer, you are a piano player. A lot of folks on the line might not know about you, so please let me welcome you officially, Beau Stephenson, to Voiceover Mastery. And Beau will be playing in the VOMastery band, at least doing a couple of songs. But tell us about you and the fact that we're finally meeting today.
Well, you and I are repped by Atlas Talent.
Correct.
We've crossed paths in that world. Yeah, I've only been out here since 2013, so I'm relatively new. I'm from Washington originally, and got married, and you know, I'm summarizing, obviously. I moved out here with my wife, and we've just been very blessed that voiceover has kind of been the gateway for us to kind of get our lives going, and yeah, so that's
very exciting. Well, wait, you're married for how many years now?
Oh boy, it'll be. Let's see, 2011, January 2011.
Okay.
And we have 2 little girls.
Yes, you have a baby.
Yes, I have a newborn, September 13th.
And your new daughter's name is?
Olivia Ray.
Olivia Ray. Yeah. And how old is your other daughter, and what's her name?
My other daughter is 2.5, and her name's Lindy Rose.
Lindy Rose.
She is a spunky kid.
Beautiful.
She's got a very plummy voice. I've used her on a couple of projects. Just her, because she's got such a full. She's got my voice if I were little.
That's killer. Well, you know, my daughter, when I was the voice of Disney Channel's Playhouse Disney, my daughter was that 1, 2, 3, 4 years of age. So she was a Playhouse Disney fan, and my nanny would bring her to Disney to visit me, and when I was working there during the day, and Rachel was on my lap one day while I was recording a promo, and she just started saying, "I love Out of the Box and Roly Poly Oly," in this cute little voice, and she was talking, and afterwards the producer said, "We just recorded that. Can we build a promo around your daughter?"
Oh, that's so cool.
So that was actually her first paid gig at like 3.
I've had a lot of parents ask me, like, hey, should my kid try it out? I'm like, honestly, if they really want to do it, being a kid and doing it, you have such an advantage because you don't have any competition, really. I mean, there's not that many kids who are doing it that are good at it.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I had a cousin of mine, his little girl, auditioned for a few things, and she booked. You know, had a wonderful time, and I was like, see, it's as you get older, it gets more and more competitive.
Well,
you know?
And there's a lot of us in the voiceover industry that have children. So when we hear that cute voice, we all want to put our kids on mic, and consequently, I think the competition in about 15 years is going to be incredibly fierce by these kids growing up with voiceover studios, you know, at their access, and their parents pushing them to, here, read this. We can bank some college money on you with this.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you do 1 or 2 national campaigns, and there's college.
There you go. And you've got a lot of that to plan because you've got 2 girls that are going to need it in about 16 years.
Yeah. Well, right now we're actually writing a series, and the main character in it is based off of my daughter. And she's just a real character. Like, it was not hard to create a character around her. And it's been really fun to write and use her scratch VO. Like I'll let her sit in the booth, and she feels like such a big kid, you know, like her little feet don't even, you know, touch the floor on the stool, and she'll just repeat what I say, but she'll repeat what I say, but she won't use any of my emphasis. She'll use all the cute kid emphasis and stuff.
Right, of course. Yeah,
so it's been really
stuff
fun.
That you can't plan. So you're talking about that you're writing a children's show, which is very Hollywood, Beau. I mean, you are. You're in La La Land, and now you've turned writer, producer, voiceover actor. So tell us a little bit about your path as a voice actor, because I know a lot of the folks that are listening want to know, is voiceover mastery the right place for me? Do I need this level of training no matter where I'm at? You know, maybe I'm a true novice. But where did you come from, and how did you then become a union actor? And that this is how our paths have now crossed.
My background's in theater, live performance, you know, dramatic and, you know, musicals. And I also was in plenty of musical groups, bands, choirs. And I always had a love of acting. Since I was very, very young, I'd take the camera and write stories and go film them and edit them together. I remember back when I first started, I had a couple of VCRs, and I plugged my cameras in and, you know, edit manually. And
you're a geek.
It was I was a geeky kid. I had my bed on stilts.
Right.
And then underneath it, I had my editing bay down there. I had a couple of TVs and VCRs and stuff. So, I mean, I've been interested in telling stories for a long time in a lot of different ways. And I started writing music in my teens and just kind of grew up, you know, being artsy and having parents that were very supportive of that.
You were in Utah just growing up?
Washington.
Oh, in Washington.
Yeah, I'm from
near
Tri-Cities.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So, yeah, that's my background. And I ended up marrying a girl who is a costume designer. And she, on set, noticed that there were a lot of kids that would book these commercials, and their resumes were heavily padded with a lot of VO. And she would talk to these guys, and she'd be like, "Honey, you could do VO." But she really believed it. She didn't just, like, she thought about the things that I was doing, and at the time I was acquiring equipment to build a studio and for other things, for music. And so it was a very natural thing for me to kind of grow into. And we actually moved out to LA for her because her career was really going along fine. And so we moved here for her. But I knew that I would need to be here. I knew since I was a young child that I needed to someday get out here. And so it was exciting to have a reason and the means to. So that's...
And to wait and do it as a family man, I think, is really smart. Because, you know, LA is a tough place. And it's a tough place to come out here alone. I really feel for kids that can't wait. I was that kid. I came out here at, 18, trying to make things happen. And then, of course, I left, and then I came back and was a DJ however many years later that was. But, this can be a tough place. But coming with family, your purpose is really strong. You're obviously a very focused artist. And your playing is beautiful. You play piano, you sing, you go live on Facebook.
Yeah, that's goofy, but I love it. I miss playing live, and I'm really excited about the VOMastery party. It's going to be fun. I mean, we've been getting together music, and it's going to be a really great time. That's one part of my life that's all I did for a very long time was perform live. And then moving out here and moving into voiceover, I'm like isolated now, and I feel like I'm reaching that critical mass where I'm like, I got to get out there again, you know. So when Facebook's released that live feature, I thought, oh, maybe, at least for me and my family, it'll be fun. But yeah, friends have commented and they've enjoyed it. So.
Well, and that piano you have, and it just resonates beautifully in the room that you have. A lot of wood floors, and it just seems to sound right, and I'm always in awe of people that can sit down at an instrument, play, and sing. Like, that's an incredible talent, one that I was definitely not gifted with.
Well, it helped me get dates. That was the big motivator when I was young. I was like, hey, wait a second, I don't throw football.
I'm sure that's how most guys got into rock bands. So then, but you were a non-union guy. How did it come about that you were able to actually join the union? What job did you do?
Oh, well, it was kind of a process because I did a lot of non-union. But I was fortunate enough because even when I was doing non-union, I was familiar with the industry at that point, and I actually was writing my own contracts, and they were good, and so there were some form of renewals and residuals in place where it wasn't horrible. Even as a non-union guy. So I when I signed on with Atlas, I actually wasn't union at that point, with the understanding that I would be, but they were actually very happy with the state of things with my clients. A lot of actors that go non-union to union, they sign on to that agency and they decide to go union, they see a really big dip in their income. It's very typical.
Yes, I think that's exactly why most people fear, should I make that step and become a union actor? And I say take advantage of being non-union for as long as you can till you can build that stable of clients, and clients that, depending on the kind of work you're doing for them, at some point, especially if you're smart enough to negotiate proper rates, it's like, hey, listen, I've been with you for 5 years. If I go union, really, it's just going to cost you an extra blah blah to give me health insurance and be able to pay into being. I think that there are clients that will transition with you to make them, because as J. Michael Collins will tell you, working in that pay-to-play world, you can get the jobs that pay way more than union minimum.
And to flip them to union at that point is easy.
There you go.
It's very simple. It's forming the right relationships with your agent and paymasters, and you need to take on a lot of the responsibilities that actors aren't traditionally known for taking on. I think the classic actor is lost in his own world, and he's waiting for that phone to ring. And it's not like that anymore. And agents are only getting 10%, and you should be doing your 90%, and that's a lot of
Well said, Beau.
I see you doing your thing, and I mean, I think a lot of us that are doing well, a lot of people are like, oh, well, they're just lucky. It's like, well, yeah, certainly there's a talent level there for sure, but I hear talented people all the time that aren't working.
Right.
It's just like, what's with that? It really is that business side. And,
it is.
And I think me going union, I was in a position where I had enough business coming in that was really easy to flip.
Right.
It was just easy.
And that's what J. Michael Collins is going to talk about, because when I was doing VOMastery in Fort Myers, Florida, most of the attendees that came were non-union and would never become union. But here we're in Los Angeles, and the weekend of Voiceover Mastery, there happens to be 2 other voice events. One of them is the awards thing for SOVAS, of which several of my people in VO Mastery are even nominated there. So it's a wonderful weekend for attendees to come in and have such a great selection. None of our things are happening on the same day. VO Mastery is Friday. That's Voiceover is Saturday, and then the awards are Sunday, which my husband and I are going to attend because we want to root some folks on at SOVAS.
Yes, I got some friends that I'm going to go support. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it is fun, and it's going to be a chance to really connect with, with our peers, as well as with everyone we're going to meet on Friday at VO Mastery. But I wanted to talk about the principles and the way that J. Michael Collins has figured out this business. Is amazing. There are some people, if you listen to what they tell you about how to succeed, they're giving you these pearls. It's like our agent John Wasser. When John Wasser is sharing with you and telling you, listen, this would be a really good idea, take notes.
Yes, exactly.
And then do exactly as he says. There are people in our industry that are thought leaders and are really fighting for just a better work environment for everyone. Luckily, those of us that are union, we have that protection. But there are a lot of people that are out there that are talented, working in the voiceover world, aren't ready to make that commitment to the union, because then all of a sudden they're stopped in their tracks unless they're getting work that is only union. So learning the business ethos from J. Michael is everything, and he really has a system down, and he's going to be teaching that at 10 o'clock in the morning. Do you know James Arnold Taylor?
I have crossed paths with him, but I know of his work, and I'm a fan.
His Talking to Myself.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's great.
So he's starting our day. He is our keynote address.
That's going to be so fun.
I
Wow.
know. I
Yeah.
thought about hiring or finding someone in our industry that's really at a high level to deliver a keynote address that starts the day on this positive level, and I had several in mind, and I thought there's nothing more inspiring than watching someone as creative as James Arnold not only entertain you and amaze you with how he does all of the voices, but then to hear the story of him losing his ability to speak literally, I mean, to use his voice. He could speak, but he didn't have the instrument that he had developed,
Right.
and he had to fight for it. And consequently, he's vegan. He's, all water that I will be bringing him at the conference is going to be special, and it cannot be in plastic, only in glass.
Wow.
His body is very sensitive. So, we all have our finely tuned instruments. So let me put my headphones on. Let's see if Shavita has any questions for us.
The first question that I'd like you to answer is, what kinds of projects could I do in the field of voiceover? Now, that's a very broad question, but let's narrow it down here. Someone wants to know what type of projects can they do in voiceover?
Okay, so this is a question that's obviously coming from someone who has not worked in the field at all. There's so many genres within the world of voiceover. There's commercials. So whether you're doing a national, a regional, or even a local commercial, that is available. And now the term local doesn't even apply anymore because it is all done over the internet, and you could be the voice of a commercial in, give me a little town in Washington.
Oh, Moses Lake.
In Moses Lake, Washington. You can do a commercial for them. If you live in St. Louis, you have to audition and then get cast for it. There are commercials that can pay non-union actors anything from $100 to a much better fee. So commercials. There's industrial narration. There's telephony when you call offices and, they don't have a receptionist anymore. There's promo. Beau does promo. I do promo. There's narration, which would be more long form through, channels like Discovery and things like that. There is sports announcing. I mean, I don't know what your qualities are. I think in order to have a better conversation with you, I would need to know a little bit about your background, who you are, and what you think your aspirations are. I think when you get involved in voiceover, you have to figure out, what is my money voice? What can I do that is just really good and better than most people? So that seems to be the big question that people have to answer for themselves. How did you figure it out, though?
Well, for me, I'm an actor. I just am. I know that that's my process. Even when I'm doing something as mundane as an e-learning or a some kind of corporate training, I approach it from a very emotional place, and that's just how I work. So following that trail, I mean, a lot of people that have that similar background, they'll go into audiobook narration because there's a lot of character work in there. Probably the hardest of all the genres, I would say, because you have so much to keep track of. There's animation, and there's video games. Animation lending itself well to people who have a good comedic timing, improv abilities. Animation is really great for that. Video games also have comedy, but I would say it's dominated a lot by drama. A lot of the titles are pretty dramatic considering the setting that these stories are taking place in. So yeah, as an actor coming into the VO world, there's some things that you can jump into that your natural talents will lend themselves well to.
Right.
Obviously, I feel like announcers who come from the DJ world coming into VO tend to do a lot better just right out of the gate with very little coaching, doing promo and live announce and things like that, because that's where they're from.
Correct.
And so you kind of have to take a look at what your natural talents are and go, okay, well, what do I want to do, and where am I lacking? What do I need? So for me, like promo, I really had to like stretch those muscles and work, because when I started working, it was it's this very natural guy read,
right.
like this. And then, going into the promo and learning all of the melody and the rhythm and all of that.
That's very interesting. So today they always say that folks that came out of radio that have more of that promo sound, that it's shifted. And if that's so, then if you came in as natural guy and they heard you, did you have to shift to become that, or could you be natural guy?
Well, that's a good question. All of the promo campaigns I currently have,
For example,
well, I do a lot of stuff for Viacom overseas. I'm the voice of the Sony network. They haven't moved over here yet. I think they have plans to. I also do, random spots around, and then, every now and again I'll do something for one of the networks.
Right. And when they bring you in, what is it that they're looking for that they get from Beau Stephenson that they don't get from Joe Cipriano or whatever?
That's exactly where your question comes in great, is they'll listen to my commercial demo and they'll go, wow, we love that natural sound. Right. We love that guy sound. But then you go in there and by the time it makes it to air, it's a promo.
I've got to tell you, this has been my life, right, in promo, because really I come more out of the broadcast, very specific type of cadence and speech pattern and tonality that is very naturally promo. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't come from an actor's place, right? It comes from a natural extension of who I am. And I work on the just be natural, just read it and tell the story. And even when I fight to get hired with that sound, by the time we're done, it does sound more like a promo. And so they have this desire to no, let it be more organic and natural sounding, but that's not what sells.
Right.
It's that fine line of sell and naturalness that seems to be, that's the sweet spot.
And it seems like, at least on the network stuff, it's become more trailer-esque, in my opinion. So yeah, there is a little bit more of the actor read in there. It's not just a no, right. It's a little bit more interesting.
Right.
And they're putting that kind of vibe into just your run-of-the-mill promo. But yeah, it's hilarious because they'll be like, oh yeah, we love the spot you did, and I'm like, that was a commercial, and that doesn't sound anything like what we're doing. But you kind of have to go, okay, well, what did they like
about it?
And then how can I marry that to the promo read that they need? And so that's voiceover's not
what
easy.
Makes you a professional.
Yeah,
right? You're saving them time. You're helping them get what they ultimately need, hopefully in the shortest amount of time, by taking everything that you know and applying it to what they're asking.
You know what I think it is? I think it's very similar to, if you go to the doctor. You don't necessarily go to the doctor and know what's wrong.
Right.
I mean, if it's obvious, you do, but if it's internal, you don't know.
Correct.
So you're just saying, hey, this is what's going on, and the doctor does his thing.
Right.
We're kind of the same way. We go in there. They don't really know exactly how to articulate it. They can't just say, do this, because it's such a creative thing that they're trying to nail down.
Right.
And so that's where being a professional comes in, is knowing what they're saying.
Right.
And understanding what they're needing, and then putting those things together and delivering it. And
because,
it's hard.
Let's face it, how old is that copywriter generally?
Oh, I mean, the copywriters are so young now.
They're young, so they don't even know what they want. They think they know, but that's why they hire you, because it's like, help me get there.
Right.
Here are the words, help me get there. So I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right. Shovita, do we have another question? And I don't know that we actually answered the question that was asked, but I feel for this audience, because we have folks that are, they don't need that basic answer. By the way, my book, Voice for Hire, would explain all of the questions our first questionnaire asked. So, let me tell you about who's coming. Shovita doesn't even have to speak. She just puts a card up and I can tell you. Jim actually came on recently. He is a very talented musician. Do you know about him?
I watched him at that event a couple months ago. He's great.
Oh, the one at the
Whiskey Go-Go?
At the Whiskey, right, I know. I flew in that day, but I got here too late.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
I know.
So
Jim Cummings, also an Atlas talent. So he is an unbelievably talented actor. We know him as Pooh, Tigger, from Duck Dynasty. We've got Sylvia Villagran, also in that fourth shot there. Sylvia and I became friends years ago because she does promo. She does it in English and in Spanish. You know, on Broadway they talk about triple threats. She's definitely a triple threat. I'm sure she speaks a third language that would even give her that ability. So Sylvia will be on my live announce panel along with Joe Cipriano and Melissa Disney. So Tara Strong, who is my neighbor now, which is so cool while we live in this little hamlet. Of course, you would know Tara from My Little Pony, which not only is a series, but she's got the movie coming out in 2017. So I would think your daughter's a fan of My Little Pony. I mean, at 2.5, have you let her see any My Little Pony?
We've seen all of them.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Jess Harnell from Animaniacs. We've got J. Michael Collins. We spoke of J. Michael. And a special LA talent agent. We're not allowed to say who it is, Beau, but you and I both know. And this agent is one of the few unique agents that does enjoy interacting with talent in that she likes to direct. She has very specific feelings about how you read, and she also can give you tremendous insight into what an agent does, do you need one, when to reach out to an agent that's at a major talent agent level, and how to take that process. And so we're offering a Thursday night special. Out of our VOMastery attendees, only 20 can buy into Thursday night because that's hands-on with Julie Falls, who does looping and ADR, Melissa Disney, who will be working on character acting for commercials, and also we've got this amazing talent agent. It's really a unique opportunity. Trust me on this one. So if you are coming to VOMastery on Friday and you think you're ready for some one-on-one booth time at Media City Sound, have you ever recorded over there?
I haven't yet. No.
Very cool. And you would love Alanette because he is actually a composer and publisher of music. So they have catalogs and library music, but he's been involved in the music industry in terms of film and soundtrack scores for many years.
Oh, wow.
And that's why he built a studio so that it would support not only his music, but voiceover and for big clients and whatnot. So,
that's great.
And they are less than 300 yards from the Sportsman's Lodge. So say when you're here on Friday at the Sportsman's Lodge and Atlas says, listen, we need this back right away, if you don't think your rig that you're walking around with is good enough, we can fit you in over at the Media City Sound Studios. We've got a booth on hold there for Friday the 11th in case we have other voice actors that are coming from out of town that maybe are not traveling with their gear. We can allow you to jump in there and record whatever that is.
That's great.
During the course of the day. Yeah, we figured go in, record, and you're right back for us. So, okay. So, Shovita, do you have another question for us?
I sure do, and I just wanted to point out, Rand, that we've got less than 10 seats for Thursday night. So
okay, they're going.
If you're thinking about it, you need to make a decision sooner than later.
Because I know what happens, Shovita, having done this as my third VOMastery, the people that have already signed up, which thank you, we're selling tickets like crazy, but the majority of people seem to decide in the last couple of weeks, can they get away, can they do it, and that's when they jump on this opportunity. So we hope that they do it before. When does the price change again, Shovita?
The price is going to change right after your birthday.
Oh, my birthday is next Saturday, October 22nd. So we're holding the price until after my birthday, and then Shovita is raising the price. So
who knows? Maybe you'll be giving a gift for your birthday.
When are we going to give away a seat to VOMastery? That's what I want to know. We're giving away one free ticket, are we not?
I'm so happy that you asked. Yes, we are going to give away a free seat. So what I'm going to do is look to see who's online with us now, and I'm going to throw some names in a random generator, and then at the end, we're going to decide who's going to win that free seat.
Wow, one of our attendees that is on right now can be coming to VOMastery at no charge for the conference. Of course, they have to get to LA and have a place to stay or utilize our package that we got a great rate at the Sportsman's Lodge, right?
That's right. That
Excellent.
is right.
Okay, fingers crossed.
I'm excited. So we're going to go ahead and roll back into our Q&A because we've got quite a few to go through.
Okay, and let me just say, and we'll talk about this more next week, but we're going to be doing something special in a few weeks, but today, and we're going to put this online, if someone has a situation where you really don't have the money, that you somehow are in the area, maybe you can get here, you're driving here, but you don't have the money to attend VOMastery. Tonight we're giving away a free ticket for fun, but if you have a story and you need us to look at you and perhaps offer you a scholarship, we are absolutely accepting letters, and if you tell us your story, we'll keep it between us, but we would like to be awarding one scholarship. So folks that start writing you, what's the best email address, Shovita, to send in their submissions for a scholarship?
The best email would be info@randythomaspresents.com.
Okay, info@randythomaspresents.com.
Yes, info@randythomaspresents.com, where they can send their scholarship letters.
Okay, great. So you got another question?
We do. So this comes from another person who's new to the world of VO, and they want to know what are some quote gotchas to look out for in a contract. So if they're just getting a brand new contract, what should they be mindful of as a first time?
I'm going to let Beau take that. He seems to be the gotcha guy.
Well, I mean, the most obvious one is anything that says perpetuity. There's different cases where in perpetuity is okay, but most of the time it's not. And if for anybody who doesn't know what that means, in perpetuity is something they put in these little contracts where they get to have it forever and ever for whatever they want. And there's certain situations where that's not a big deal, like if it's an industrial piece, internal, training, something that's never going to see the light of day, they can have it in perpetuity. I think the union even has contracts like Cat 2 and stuff like that where it's whatever. But you want to make sure that if perpetuity is in there in that kind of situation, you want to make sure that you're covered for broadcast. And obviously for web videos, things that are going, to radio, broadcast, things like that, you want to make sure that language is not in there at all, because if it is, you could paint yourself into a corner with conflicts. And conflicts are the simplest way to describe a conflict is this. Let's say you're voicing Verizon, and Verizon buys you out in perpetuity, and they happen to record you in a way where they can just use you over and over and over and over and over again. Well, let's say 10 years down the road, Sprint wants to hire you for this fabulous campaign, and they're like, hey, do you have any conflicts in mobile phones? And then you would have to say, I actually do. I have a thing that... And so it can be great if they're paying you over and over and over again. Then it's fine. You're like, sorry, I can't do it. I'm being paid. I can't. But at least you're not out of money. You're being covered. But what happens is if you a long time ago signed something and you forgot, and you go and you do sign a contract and you do this job, but you actually do have a conflict, if that comes up, you can be liable, and there have been lawsuits, and talent have lost out on really huge opportunities. So that's just kind of in a nutshell, like
and
a
also,
big gotcha.
Right, so it's what they put in writing can get you, but also what they don't put in writing is what you need to put in writing. If they say, we're using this on the internet, then you need to add the language that it will never be broadcast, or it will never, whatever they could do with it, you need to put that in writing if they don't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you want to look at covering yourself. But we have a lot of folks that are very smart in VO, and like yourself and J. Michael Collins, they understand contracts, and some of them are even lawyers. So
That's great. Yeah. No, you can get into a sticky mess if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm. Shovita, another question?
That's a great question for sure. I know a lot of people have that as a concern. And we've got another question talking about location and where to be. Where is the work? So the question is, where are the cities to audition for video games?
Well, I think video games can be digitally done. So I think you can be anywhere. But if you want to be doing that work, I would think LA or Northern California.
It just depends. I mean, a lot of the indie games, it doesn't really matter. They're anywhere. I mean, you can start doing indie games from anywhere. But if you're talking like console games like Xbox, PlayStation, the big franchises, those are made in LA. There's a few studios. I've got friends in the UK that also do some console stuff over there. But it seems to be the exception. It seems like a lot of that is happening here in LA and a little in New York. So that just in my experience of the auditions I'm seeing.
Are you doing some video game work?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
How do you preserve your voice? I hear you can leave a lung on the wall.
Well, I mean, clever scheduling, making sure that you've got a good recovery time after. I notice a lot of the video game stuff comes in for Thursdays and Fridays, which is really nice. For me, staying really, really hydrated, eating healthy, getting plenty of rest before and after, and also learning good vocal technique.
Right.
Because you could go in and yell for hours, but if you can learn a different way to yell that sounds louder than it actually is. These are stage tricks.
Right.
These are problems that actors have had for hundreds of years.
You have to do it night after night. I mean, how do they preserve their voices? It's the same.
It's the same thing, and so those problems have already been solved, and you just have to go find the answers. There's coaches, books, all sorts of materials to make it so that you can do that.
True. All right. Another question, Show?
Good deal, yes. Then we have, do you suggest posting your own rates? That's aside from video games, just in general. Do you suggest posting your own rates?
No. I would think rates vary depending on the project. And, yeah, you could be selling yourself short. That's what places like Fiverr do. They demean and degrade you. So you don't want to post your rates. The only reason I would think someone might want to is so that they're saying I'm quality and I do it for less. I don't think you want to post your rates, especially if you're hired. They have to fall in love with you, and then you have to give them a reason why they should pay more than they normally would. So I don't see any benefit in posting rates, but I do see a benefit in knowing what the rates are and not settling for less than what you think you deserve.
Well, and every project has its own little things, like one web video, may have 5-year usage, whereas another one it's a very promo-y.
Right.
And so they're going to cost
has a shorter shelf life.
Yeah,
right.
And so you're painting yourself into a corner, and also you're not giving yourself the opportunity to grow in your career because people will know, oh, well, that's what, they're worth, and you'll never make more than that.
Exactly. So, yeah, not advised. Next question. And, do we have David Rosenthal, and do we also have my friend in San Francisco?
David's not on the line yet, but we do have Ruth, if you want to talk to Ruth
is on.
before
Fantastic.
we go to the next question. Ruth, are you with us?
She's probably like, they called my name.
I know, and it looks like she's dialed in. Hey, Ruth, I'm going to leave you unmuted for just a moment, but if not, I'm going to roll into the next question.
I do believe she sent me a question in advance. Now, I just want you guys to know, Ruth is not like a shill or anything. She is someone that I met through VOMastery who is actually coming with her daughter to VOMastery. And Ruth is they're from Philadelphia, and they have such an interesting story. So her question, if we can't get her on the line, is, can you tell us something about the folks who are attending VOMastery and how they can best prepare for this event? Gird your loins. No, I have not. What else can I tell you? No, seriously. Stay healthy. So here's the deal. I do a live show, and I have a certain regimen that I like to do when I'm going to be working live. And next Saturday, which is my birthday, I'll be announcing the Environmental Media Awards on the Warner Brothers lot right down the street here. And so what I do is I put myself in training about 30 days before. I eschew all sugar, dairy, orange juice, things that create phlegm, because when I'm putting myself in a stressful situation and you've had a lot of sugar, your immune level goes down. I think the best thing you can do when you're coming to Voiceover Mastery is take care of yourself, arrive healthy. We're going to have plenty of Thieves tea, which is an immune booster, to keep you healthy and keep your voice strong while you're with us. Other than that, you know, it's not, you can bring notebooks and we probably will provide pens and paper to take notes, but really, I don't know. If you have cards, bring your cards. But really today, no one wants to be handed a card as much as I think people would prefer that you ask for their card or ask how you can reach them, and then you can electronically reach out. Handing someone card, I don't know.
It just depends. Yeah, you're right. I think unsolicited cards, you know, if you've done a really good job for someone or whatever, then it's a natural thing. Like, hey,
Right.
this is so we remember each
Right.
other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so don't bring demos. That's not the thing to do. The thing is to make sure you have your demos on MP3s, and when you meet someone, if you're talking to them and you connect and they're like, hey, let me hear your demo, as soon as you get home, send them a thank you note and attach your demo, and that way it's a very unobtrusive way to present your materials to them, and obviously that would be the goal. I would say just come prepared to have a lot of fun. We're going to be feeding you. We're giving you a light breakfast, continental breakfast in the morning. When we break for lunch, there will be boxed meals waiting for us. We have all kinds of sandwiches. I'm doing this delicious chicken Caesar wrap that hits the spot for me. So there are different kinds of sandwiches. I'm sure we'll have
You're
a choice.
making us hungry. We
I
want
know.
answers to VO questions. Let's get back to that. And we do have David on the line.
And then we have the party in the evening in which we'll have some hors d'oeuvres. And there is a cafe downstairs. So you don't have to leave VOMastery at any time to go eat. Just so you know that. We're going to take good care of you all day Friday into Friday night.
I love that. Well, David, are you with us on the line so we can get some Q&A feedback from you?
I certainly am. I'm sorry. I had 2 last-minute jobs that didn't allow me to come on until now, but I'm here.
We
I
love
love
that.
That's such
That's
a
good.
VO excuse.
It's nice, isn't it? It's a nice excuse to be able to have.
I agree, and that's the wonderful thing about what we do. David Rosenthal from GVAA, he is the CEO. He is a voice actor, obviously, because he just had to work, and he is also an amazing voice coach. And David's been checking in with us every week at, you know, on the back half of our webinar, and he helps us end this hour with such fun and information. So it's so good to have you on, David. So in addition to your job today, what kind of week have you had?
It's been a great week. Actually, I've done a lot of one-on-one coaching. I have directed 2 demos. I've directed a gaming session, meaning directing actors for a game app,
Right.
and voiced just about only 4 jobs this week, but it was nice way to end it.
Yeah. Excellent, I know, on Friday.
Yeah.
So I know that you and Christina are a big part of VOMastery this year because we've decided to go so character, focused, character-centric for animation, commercials, video games. What do you have in store for us?
Well, personally, there are a number of tricks to being able to create character very quickly. As long as you're creative and intuitive, if you're too much in your head, maybe all bets are off. But those aren't character actors anyway, right? Or at least they shouldn't be. But there are certain things that I've been noticing in teaching lately and coaching, things that keep cropping up on a regular basis that people just don't seem to use intuitively. And so I'm going to teach about 5 or 6 wonderful secrets that I use all the time to allow character to blossom really quickly, especially when you need to for auditions. If you have an audition that's due at the end of a day that involves character, or maybe the next morning, how to access that quickly, and things that you can do to sound different from so many of the other people auditioning, which is really, really important. You don't want to
Right.
just, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. That to me is the fascinating thing. Like, so within the confines of an audition, as especially when you're talking about character and developing a character, finding a voice for a character that was just presented to you in an email with maybe a photo or a description, and you've got to really own it. And everything has to come out of your imagination. Like, what's the easiest thing to grab onto to sort of claim that scene as yours?
Right. Well, the very first thing that has to happen always is physicality. For me, it's not about a voice. The voice is the last thing that happens when I'm creating a character. And so I need to find their physicality. I need to find their particular walk, their gait, where they hold tension, what their posture is like. That creates for me an awareness of how they feel in the world, their status, their relationship to other people, their relationship to themselves. From that, I ask a number of questions. Some of them can be answered maybe in a good description of the character in an audition. Others, I'm just creating context for myself. And out of that, I start to allow a voice to happen. Then I mess around with the voice with a number of the things that we'll be talking about at VOMastery, and how to keep yourself in a state of surprise.
Mm.
That is the ultimate goal. That's where the magic happens. If you decide, oh, this is the way I'm going to say it every single time because this is what this character is, well, that character may say it that second, but the next second they may say it a completely different way if they had to. So it's staying in a state of spontaneity so you don't get static with any character. And there are a lot of things you can do to make that happen.
For me, like if I'm doing an audition for, say, a promo, we apply the same kinds of principles. It's not about physicality, but it's who am I talking to? Who's my audience? Who am I? What is the product I'm presenting? What kind of a show is it? So those are the things. And I think I can kind of get there fairly quickly, but then I'll track it. I'll listen back. I'll track it again, because for me, my rehearsal process works best if I can listen back, because as soon as I listen, then I hear what I know instinctively what I need to do to make it better.
Exactly.
How like in the world of characters, do you get an audition and then it's got to be turned around within an hour, and is that enough? I'm sure it's enough time for you.
Well, actually, yeah. Once in a blue moon, that will happen, where it has to be a really, really quick turnaround. Usually what's happened in those particular situations are that a first round happened and they didn't feel comfortable with anybody, and all of a sudden it goes out again to another round or something like that. Maybe an agent will say, maybe the first round will be, we only want people that sound like this or within this age range. They didn't get what they want, and then they broaden their specs, and all of a sudden I'm in there. And so it's up to me to show them something different. But for the most part, no, character auditions usually have a 24 to 48 hour turnaround, just because they do want you to think about it.
Right. I would think so. Well, and obviously what you are going to be teaching will definitely help any actor that is interested in becoming a better voiceover actor.
Oh, you bet.
You're going to show them tricks, tips, truths.
Yes. They're all of the above.
Because once you're home, once you're in your booth, you need to have these skills. Like, they have to be totally natural to you, and that's why we study. And I think what we're offering with VOMastery is a very unique set of coaches that you might not find anywhere else.
No, and these coaches, you know what they all have? They have this irresistible, uncontainable desire to play.
I love that. Ooh, I think Shovita's already thinking of our next ad.
There you go. But no, I mean, I think that's essential. Being able to play like a kid is one of the most essential aspects of consistently booking work. Period.
Mhm. Yeah. I had lunch with E.G. Daly today, and she is in that space,
Isn't she? Yep, there you go.
always ready to play. She's always ready to go into one of her voices, and she's always, she just cracks me up, but she's a very serious actor and loves music. So I'm so excited that we have all these musical people. We have Bill Russell, who is from
Billy Boy.
from Nashville, our musical director, and Beau Stephenson's going to sing and play. Do you sing and play, David?
Some would say yes, and others would.
Do you dare would be the question.
Oh yeah, I would dare. Unfortunately, yes, I would dare.
Excellent.
Do we, Shavita? Do we have any?
Yes, thank you. I was just going to say while we're running out of time here, and I think we kind of answered a question that we got in from an attendee that wanted to know what makes VOMastery different than other conferences like WOVO and VO Atlanta. I think we kind of answered that, addressing that we are different with who we decide joins VOMastery, as well as we're not the largest. Would you agree, Randy?
We're definitely not the largest. We are exclusive and inclusive because of the size of our conference, and in this case, because the conference goes on in one space all day. People don't have to decide, do I want to do this panel or that panel? We've mapped out an unforgettable day for you, and you're going to have to trust us that there's a reason and a purpose that we have staged every presentation in the order that we did. I can tell you that having our VO animation superstars at the end of the day, that was sort of my thinking that the later in the day that they're there, the more likely we're going to get them to stay to be a part of the band and play. So there's a reason for everything we're doing. What I believe you're going to come away with is feeling as though you have great insight into what it takes to succeed, and hopefully some of those tips and insights will remain in your brain, and you can take that and apply it to the work that you're already doing. One of the things that I offer anyone that comes to VOMastery, because the numbers are manageable, I continue to support you. You're signing on to my VOMastery. I am bringing in amazing coaches, but I remain there for you. You can write me, you can send me your audio, and we can talk about your growth and your continuation. And so that's kind of the support. What I wanted to remind everyone is that Bob Merkel in VoiceZam, for those of you that are even trying to understand what kind of a demo would I make, what genres, the fact that most of us today, and especially a lot of people that are working on a non-union level, they don't have the editing and recording skills that's why you go to professionals. That's why you go to a demo producer. But once you get the elements of your demo and you put it into a VoiceZam player, you are able to manipulate which piece comes first and how you want that demo to look and sound. You can put it on your website. We keep talking about the fact that I'm going to reveal my new website with my VoiceZam demo on it, and I'm going through it right now to make sure that it's going to reflect, all of the pieces that I think are worth sharing to demonstrate who I am and what my voice sounds like. So I like VoiceZam and the fact that it's given me the power to just go, I want to put it here, I want to put it there. Nope, I've got a new piece, another MP3, drag it in and eliminate something I don't want. Before it was a linear experience. Now VoiceZam has created a player where you see all the spots as they play through. We should demonstrate it on GoToMeeting, but we'll do that.
Yeah, sure. Bob is going to join us on one of our webinars, and hopefully we'll get to meet Bob in LA at VOMastery as well, as he's planning to attend. And while we've still got a couple more minutes here, I want to get a few more questions in with David and Beau back on the line now. So we have, for beginner, we mentioned Fiverr earlier. Do you think beginners should use Fiverr to gain experience?
No, I'm sorry. I don't.
David says no.
Tell us, David, what's your feeling?
It has become very obvious to me with a number of people who have gone that route that that's where they stay. That's it. They Now that doesn't mean that they can't start charging if they do get repeat business through a place like that. It doesn't mean that they can't start charging more than $5. But
does Fiverr mean you only get paid $5?
no. It doesn't have to mean that. Sometimes it depends on the number of words and everything, but it never gets really high.
You can get $9.
It never gets to a place where, well, no, I mean 15, 20. But the point is that there's a perception of people that they find that work on Fiverr that where they don't get past that. It's very, very hard for them to move into a different level of professionalism and echelon. It's also very easy to get lazy in the sense that, oh well, the work keeps coming here, I'm just going to stick it out here and just stay here. The rest of it just is too hard for me to imagine even getting into, right. So I'll just stay here. And the point is that if you want to be a truly professional voice artist, then you're going to have to commit the investment to getting there. There are a lot of people out here who are willing to help you. VOMastery, as Randy said, isn't going to just leave it at VOMastery. Once you're there, you're there in her mind, in her heart, and she's going to continue with that. Same with me. I mean, there's a great community out there who wants to elevate you and empower you to create a true profession out of this, a real career out of this. Not to say that it's easy, but that you will, you'll be able to. Personally, I would rather do one $500 job than 20 $25 jobs.
Right, but that's easy for you to say.
That's good feedback, David. And, J. Michael had a point of something to offer to that note also. And actually, one of our attendees mentioned, I'm going to mute him right now, Adrian, if you can. He's been so persistent to get on the line, and he wants to share some of his feedback about a friend who is in the UK who got some work from Fiverr. We can't hear you, Adrian. Either way, I'm just going to read your note across here. He said that he actually had a friend in the UK, professional VO artist, that got some big bucks from huge accounts from the same clients that he found on Fiverr. So
I wouldn't doubt that that's true.
It's a love-hate.
Listen, my feeling, David has a very strong opinion, and I think he's absolutely right in his opinion. But when I look at the beginners, people that I have met in Fort Myers that have come from parts of the country where they will probably never be super professional, I think it's a great place to make mistakes, to learn. Use it. Don't let it use you. If you actually have talent, you're going to recognize that very quickly, and once you start raising your rates and you see they won't pay you, you got to break off, and you've got to say, I'm better than this, and move on. But to use Fiverr to get a little experience in working with clients and understanding the process and getting copy and turning that job around, I'm not going to say don't do it.
My 2 cents is I have mixed feelings about Fiverr, just like all of us do. But any part of this industry will have you work for free if you'll do it. If you're a PA or you're an intern or something, like everyone will have you work for free. And I kind of look at it as like, if you're going to do Fiverr, use it as that kind of thing. Like, go get on there, figure out who you are, and then just like you said, get off.
Right. And
go make your money. Just like you're not going to be an intern forever. Like, go be your intern, but then get out of there.
Yeah.
Go find real work.
Right. Exactly.
Although a number of my friends,
I will never say don't.
Sorry.
David?
A number of my acquaintances that I have on Fiverr, it's kind of like, okay, 30 years ago, I was a cab driver. And I met a bunch of cab drivers, obviously. And all of them were saying, I am out of here in a year. I am out of here. I can't take this anymore. I was out of there in a year. I couldn't take it anymore. But 20 years later, I get cabs, and guess what? I see the people that said they were going to get out of there a year ago. The same goes for Fiverr, with, as far as I'm concerned. There are a ton of people there who say, oh yeah, I'm just using this as a platform to springboard into something else. I haven't seen it really happening. Not to say that you can't find that occasional, business customer who you find through Fiverr, and then you kind of go off and you do your business with that person and create a nice relationship with them outside of Fiverr. That I've heard that happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel that if you want to elevate yourself to the level where you're going to be taken seriously by
Sure.
when the real money comes around, you can't be there too. You got to make a decision at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be that guy who I get into the cab and goes, oh hey David. Oh hey man, you're still there, huh?
And now there's Uber, so
Yeah, exactly.
those cab drivers are
right.
less satisfied than ever.
Right, to some extent. Anyway, that again, I just think that it's really important if you really love voiceover and you have a talent for it, get around, create a network of really good people who know how to help you get to that next level.
And listen, if you're tuned into VOMastery, then already you're thinking at a really cool level. Keep it going. Surround yourself with the community that is coming to VOMastery, the community that you'll meet during the course of a weekend here in Los Angeles at the Sovos Awards, if you decide to go there. But I was just thinking of a funny thing, David. I'm thinking that maybe Uber is the Fiverr to cab drivers. Because seriously, they paid so much for their medallions, and now any guy with a Hyundai is an Uber driver. So.
Yep. No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. Anyway, all right.
Well,
what
I
else
think we've got time for no more questions, but we do have some more to answer. I guess we'll follow up next week. And before we go, you want to share our special and who our winner is? Or I guess that's my job. I'm supposed to pick.
Yes, Shavita.
All right. So the winner is, drum roll, Raquel Lane. You are a winner of a seat to attend VOMastery Friday, November 11th. I will send you an email. Please respond immediately.
Is she on the line?
She is on the line.
Lane,
see if we can bring her on.
Let's see if she can tune in. Raquel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Raquel.
I'm the one that asked about Fiverr, so this is very encouraging.
Wow!
Oh, that's funny. Well, good. We're going to elevate you.
Thank you so much.
Tell me where you are. Where do you live?
I am in Alabama, outside of Birmingham.
Wow. Are you going to be able to come to VOMastery now that you've got this free ticket?
Yes, I'm going to get there.
Love that. All right.
Way to go.
I'm excited.
We are so excited to have you. Thank you. And apparently you're the perfect person to have won that because you did ask about Fiverr. So, one, you signed on. Two, you actually asked a question. And, this is obviously a part of your destiny, that you're going to come out here and you're going to spend a very special day with a lot of incredible people. And I know that David and Beau and I are going to give you a big hug when we see you, Raquel.
Thank you. I'm so looking forward to it.
That's wonderful.
Okay, so Shavita will follow up with that with you. Wow, what an amazing hour. It goes by too quickly, Shavita.
It really does.
So
it definitely does.
Next Friday is October 21st. I believe we're supposed to have Joe Cipriano on.
Joe's going to be joining us. That sounds great. And hopefully Christine will be back from vacation too, because I know you want to do a Zoom, and David loves Zoom. We all know how I feel about Zoom.
Yeah.
Not that I hate
Are
Zoom.
we going to do this next week? Can we Zoom this call?
There's no reason why we can't Zoom the call.
Let's Zoom. We're Zooming next week.
So then let's tell our listeners what's going to happen is we'll send you a new link, right?
Yes, of course. They'll get a new email, and David, we'll coordinate on that end because I know you're the king of Zoom here. But yeah, they'll get an email. That way they can join us next week, same time, quote, quote, different place.
Super
Yeah.
fun, and I can't wait for everyone to meet Beau Stephenson, listen to him play piano and sing. Do you have like a VO page, or is it just your friend page? Like if someone wanted to like try to find you when you're doing Facebook Live, do you have a fan page yet?
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah, Beau Stephenson. Just type that in and you'll see it. You will.
Okay. Right. Very good. So thank you, David. I cannot wait to meet you, and I'm looking forward to next Friday's webinar. If you have any questions, go ahead and email them. If you have a question for any of us that were on tonight, send them to Shovita. She'll forward them to us, and we'll get back to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to wish everyone a wonderful, safe, and healthy and happy weekend and week ahead. And we've got a full moon, I think it's either tonight or tomorrow, that I'm telling you, I got this email today from this woman that I love. Shovita's laughing at me. But she said, all things are possible. Now is the time. So I am all about...
I agree, and I was actually laughing at Beau, and now I'm laughing at David in the background. He's making howling noises in that laugh of his. I was just waiting.
All things are possible. Just remember that.
I agree.
So thank
all
you
things
again.
are possible, and I'm
Please go
excited.
ahead.
We're 4 weeks away now.
We really are. So go ahead, if you're thinking about coming, buy your ticket. If you know someone that wants to come that absolutely cannot afford to come, if they are able to get to Los Angeles, we need to look forward to giving away a scholarship. So we are happy to hear from anyone that desperately wants to come but just doesn't have the ability to pay for the ticket. All right. So thank you all. Have a great night, a great week ahead. From Los Angeles, good night from Randy and Beau and David.
Looking forward to next
Shovita.
week.
And show. All right. See ya. Good night, folks.